Have you ever sensed something was off with the woman in your life but couldn't identify it? She seems tense. Her behavior shifts subtly. Yet when you ask if she's jealous, she looks you straight in the eye and says, "I am fine." This disconnect between what women say and how they actually behave when experiencing jealousy creates enormous confusion for men. Today, I'm going to decode this mystery, why women hide their jealousy, and how you can spot the hidden signs. The truth is, female jealousy operates differently than male jealousy. While men typically express territorial feelings directly, women have developed sophisticated mechanisms to conceal these emotions. This isn't TT manipulation. It's a complex psychological response driven by both evolutionary biology and social conditioning. Understanding these patterns will transform how you navigate relationships and provide insights most men never discover. Think about James from Boston. His girlfriend Lisa always described herself as totally secure and not the jealous type. Yet whenever another woman approached him, James noticed Lisa would suddenly become extremely affectionate, touching his arm, laughing loudly, and standing closer to him. When James later mentioned this pattern, Lisa genuinely denied feeling jealous. She wasn't lying. She was experiencing jealousy below her conscious awareness, her behavior an automatic response to perceived competition. The first reason women hide jealousy is that admitting it feels vulnerable. In today's culture, jealousy is portrayed as a negative emotion, signaling insecurity and neediness. For women especially, there's immense social pressure to be the cool girl, laid back, undemanding, and emotionally self-sufficient. Expressing jealousy risks being labeled as crazy or high maintenance, labels that carry significant social penalties. Many women suppress these feelings so effectively they don't consciously register them. Mike from Seattle experienced this when he started working closely with a female colleague. His girlfriend Tanya never directly expressed concerns. Instead, she became increasingly interested in his work, asking detailed questions about the project and his coworker. She began suggesting surprise lunch visits and wanting to meet his work friends. What Mike didn't realize was that Tanya was experiencing jealousy, but expressing it through increased surveillance disguised as casual interest. The second reason women mask jealousy is that it serves as a test of your perceptiveness. On a deep psychological level, women want partners who can read their emotional states without explicit instructions. This desire isn't arbitrary. It's rooted in evolutionary psychology. A man who detects subtle emotional cues demonstrates social intelligence and empathy qualities that historically indicated good partnership potential. When she's feeling jealous without expressing it directly, she's unconsciously evaluating, can this man understand my emotional world without me having to spell everything out? Alex from Chicago learned this when his girlfriend Megan became unusually quiet after he received several text messages at dinner. Instead of asking what was wrong, Alex correctly sensed her discomfort and casually mentioned his brother was texting about fantasy football, then showed her the messages without being prompted. Megan immediately relaxed. Later, she admitted feeling a twinge of jealousy, but appreciated that Alex addressed her unspoken concern without making her feel foolish. The third reason involves power dynamics. Openly expressing jealousy can feel like handing over power in the relationship. By admitting jealousy, a woman reveals she cares deeply about potentially losing you, putting her in a vulnerable position. Keeping these feelings private allows her to maintain emotional equilibrium. This isn't calculating. It's a natural psychological protection mechanism. The fourth reason is perhaps most interesting. Many women hide jealousy because they read genuinely confused by their own feelings. Female jealousy often manifests as a complex mix of emotions: insecurity, fear, anger, and even excitement. These conflicting feelings can be difficult to identify and articulate. She might genuinely believe she's not jealous, even while exhibiting classic jealousy behaviors, because her conscious mind has rationalized these feelings as something else entirely. Ryan from Dallas noticed his girlfriend Taylor became unusually critical of his appearance before parties where his female friends would be present. She was consciously jealous. She thought she was being helpful by suggesting different outfits or pointing out when he needed a haircut. But the timing revealed an unconscious competitive response. She was instinctively trying to ensure he presented his best self as a reflection on her. When Ryan gently pointed out the pattern, Taylor was genuinely surprised, having never connected her behavior to jealousy. The fifth reason involves past relationship trauma. Many women have experienced situations where expressing jealousy led to gaslighting, "you were crazy," dismissal, "you were overreacting," or even relationship abandonment. These painful experiences create powerful unconscious associations between showing jealousy and negative outcomes. As protection, they learn to internalize these feelings rather than express them directly. Now let's explore how concealed jealousy actually manifests. The first sign is increased physical contact and public displays of affection. When a woman feels unconsciously threatened by potential competition, she often instinctively increases physical claiming behaviors. She'll touch you more frequently, hold your hand in public, sit closer to you, or kiss you more often when other women are present. This isn't a T-conscious territory marking. It's an instinctive response to perceived competition. Now let's continue exploring how hidden female jealousy reveals itself through observable behaviors. The increased physical contact we just discussed is often the most visible sign, but there are several other subtle indicators that most men completely miss. The second revealing sign is heightened scrutiny of your communication patterns. When experiencing hidden jealousy, women become hyper-aware of your phone habits, social media activities, and communication with others. You might notice her glancing at your phone when notifications appear, asking casual but specific questions about who you retexting, or showing sudden interest in your social media interactions. These behaviors stem from an unconscious threat detection system activating in response to perceived competition. Tyler from Philadelphia experienced this when he started mentioning a new female client. His girlfriend Emma never accused him of anything inappropriate, but suddenly began asking more detailed questions about his workday. "So, what did you and Jennifer discuss in your meeting? How long have you been working with her? Does she have a boyfriend?" These questions weren't random. They represented Emma's unconscious mind gathering intelligence about a potential threat without directly acknowledging her concerns. The third sign is subtle information gathering about potential rivals. Women experiencing concealed jealousy often collect data about perceived competitors without explicitly acknowledging why they re-interested. She might ask seemingly casual questions about your female friend or coworker, their relationship status, how attractive others find them, or details about their personality. This information gathering serves as risk assessment without revealing her underlying concerns. Brandon from Seattle noticed this pattern when he mentioned a new female colleague had joined his team. His girlfriend Rachel showed unusual interest, asking specific questions about the woman's age, appearance, and relationship status, all couched in casual conversation. Later that week, Rachel suggested they attend a company event she'd previously shown no interest in. Her unconscious mind was seeking first-hand observation of the potential competition, while her conscious mind created plausible reasons for this sudden interest. The fourth sign involves retroactive questioning about past events or conversations. When jealousy is triggered, women often mentally revisit previous situations in search of missed signals or threats. You might find her bringing up past interactions with specific women, asking for additional details about events that happened weeks or months ago, or re-examining conversations with newfound interest. This retrospective analysis is an T-random. It's her unconscious mind re-evaluating past data through a new threat assessment filter. Jason from Denver experienced this when his girlfriend Ashley suddenly began asking about a female friend he mentioned months earlier. "Whatever happened with that project you were working on with Melissa? Didn't you say she was going through a breakup? How's she doing now?" These questions emerged after Ashley had seen a comment from Melissa on Jason's social media post. Her mind had flagged this interaction as potentially significant and was gathering historical context to assess the relationship dynamic. The fifth sign is subtle comparison behavior. Rather than explicitly expressing insecurity, women often make seemingly offhand comments, comparing themselves to potential rivals. She might make observations about another woman's appearance, career achievements, or personality while gauging your reaction. These comparisons serve as indirect ways of assessing where she stands in your estimation without overtly revealing jealousy. Mark from Chicago noticed his girlfriend Sarah making unusual comments after meeting his close female friend Kate. "She's really pretty. Guys must hit on her all the time. And you two seem to have so much in common with your backgrounds in finance." These weren't just casual observations. They were Sarah's way of indirectly assessing Kate as potential competition and gauging Mark S.'s response to these implied comparisons. The sixth sign involves increased monitoring of your schedule and whereabouts. When experiencing hidden jealousy, women often develop a heightened awareness of your movements and time allocation. You might notice more questions about your plans, unexpected check-ins during the day, or casual comments that reveal she's tracking your schedule more closely than usual. This monitoring behavior stems from the unconscious mind's attempt to identify potential threats or inconsistencies. Eric from Dallas experienced this when he started a new gym routine that occasionally ran late. His girlfriend Jessica never accused him of anything inappropriate, but suddenly seemed to text him precisely when his workout would be ending with casual questions like, "Just wondering what you want for dinner?" Or, "Should I wait for you to watch the next episode?" These weren't coincidental timing. Her unconscious mind was creating natural check-in points to verify his whereabouts while maintaining plausible deniability about the underlying concern. The seventh sign is what psychologists call emotional leakage, brief, unfiltered moments where true feelings break through the composed exterior. You might notice fleeting expressions of hurt, anger, or surprise that quickly disappear when certain topics or people are mentioned. These micro-expressions represent moments where her unconscious emotional response temporarily overcomes her conscious control, revealing the feelings she's otherwise concealing. Logan from San Francisco noticed his girlfriend Mia briefly tense up and narrow her eyes when he mentioned running into his ex at a coffee shop. The expression lasted only a second before her face returned to neutral, but that momentary emotional leakage revealed feelings she wasn't verbally expressing. These micro-expressions are particularly telling because they are extremely difficult to control consciously. They represent the most authentic emotional response before social filtering occurs. The eighth sign of hidden female jealousy involves selective memory and attention. When experiencing concealed jealousy, a woman's mind unconsciously filters and prioritizes information related to perceived threats. She might remember exact details about interactions with women she subconsciously views as competition, while forgetting other conversations. This selective attention isn't deliberate. It's her brain's threat detection system, highlighting potentially relevant information. Andrew from San Francisco noticed this pattern when his girlfriend Kayla could recall precise details about conversations he had with his female colleague months earlier, down to specific projects mentioned and jokes shared. Yet she often forgot details about his male friends or other topics. This wasn't random. Her mind was flagging and storing information it unconsciously deemed relevant to potential relationship threats, creating a heightened recall specific to these situations. The ninth sign is subtle territory marking through possessive language. Women experiencing hidden jealousy often increase their use of terms like we, us, and our in specific contexts. You might notice her referring to you as my boyfriend more frequently in mixed company, or emphasizing your relationship status in conversations with or about other women. This linguistic shift isn't calculated. It's an unconscious reinforcement of the relationship bond when she senses potential competition. Daniel from Portland noticed his girlfriend Sophia began using more couple-oriented language whenever they interacted with his female friends. Phrases like, "We were just talking about that," "our apartment," or "Daniel and I are planning to," became noticeably more frequent. She was consciously trying to assert ownership, but her language was unconsciously shifting to emphasize their coupled status in response to perceived competitive threats. The 10th sign involves increased interest in your digital life. When experiencing hidden jealousy, women often pay closer attention to your social media activities, online interactions, and digital communication. You might notice her commenting more on your posts, showing increased awareness of who's interacting with your content, or displaying unexpected knowledge about your online activities. This digital monitoring represents her unconscious mind gathering information about potential threats in the modern social landscape. Now that we understand these hidden signals, how should men respond to concealed female jealousy? The first strategy is perhaps counterintuitive. Provide reassurance without direct confrontation. Directly asking, "Are you jealous?" almost always backfires because it puts her in a defensive position, forcing her to either admit a vulnerable emotion or deny something she may not fully recognize she's feeling. Instead, offer reassurance that addresses the underlying insecurity without explicitly naming it. Josh from Chicago handled this skillfully when he noticed his girlfriend Megan displaying signs of hidden jealousy after he mentioned a new female colleague. Rather than asking if she was jealous, he casually mentioned, "I'm really enjoying getting to know my team at work, but the best part of my day is always coming home to you." This statement provided emotional reassurance without triggering defensiveness or requiring her to acknowledge feelings she might not fully recognize. The second strategy is to increase transparency in natural, non-defensive ways. When you sense hidden jealousy, proactively share information that addresses potential concerns without making it obvious why you are sharing it. This isn't about proving your innocence. It's about reducing the information gap that feeds insecurity. Nathan from Houston implemented this approach when he noticed his girlfriend Rebecca showing signs of concealed jealousy about a female friend he mentioned. Without drawing attention to her reaction, he naturally included Rebecca in their next conversation. Sarah mentioned that restaurant we've been wanting to try. I told her you and I might check it out this weekend. This casual inclusion provided context about the relationship dynamic while normalizing Sarah's presence in conversation. The third effective strategy is environmental awareness. Pay attention to situations that consistently trigger signs of hidden jealousy and proactively manage these environments. This doesn't mean walking on eggshells. It means being thoughtful about relationship dynamics in potentially sensitive contexts. Kevin from Seattle noticed his girlfriend Lauren showed subtle signs of hidden jealousy whenever they spent time with his female college friends. Rather than ignoring these signals or confronting her directly, Kevin made a simple adjustment. He became more attentive to Lauren in these social situations, making sure to include her in conversations and occasionally making physical contact to reinforce their connection. The fourth strategy for addressing hidden female jealousy is what psychologists call emotional prophecy, accurately predicting and acknowledging her emotional experience without forcing her to articulate it. This approach demonstrates profound emotional intelligence and creates psychological safety. Chris from Atlanta used this approach effectively when he noticed his girlfriend Olivia becoming unusually quiet after he received several text messages from a female classmate about a group project. Rather than asking what was wrong or ignoring the shift in her mood, Chris casually said, "Just so you know, these project messages are pretty frequent right now, but the assignment ends next week. I am looking forward to having more uninterrupted time together." This statement acknowledged the potential impact of the situation on her feelings without directly confronting her about jealousy. Olivia visibly relaxed and later told Chris she appreciated how attentive he was to her emotions. The key to emotional prophecy is that it creates space for her feelings without demanding their articulation. Many women experience jealousy as a complex mix of emotions they struggle to identify or express. By acknowledging the potential emotional impact of a situation without labeling it as jealousy, you validate her experience without forcing her into a vulnerable admission. The fifth strategy is proactive inclusion. When you sense concealed jealousy about specific people or situations, find natural ways to include her that reinforce her primary position in your life. This isn't about supervision. It's about removing the psychological distance that can amplify insecurity. Jake from Los Angeles implemented this approach when he noticed his girlfriend Sarah showing subtle signs of jealousy about his close friendship with a female colleague. Rather than reducing the friendship or ignoring Sarah's signals, Jake found opportunities to include Sarah, suggesting the three of them grab lunch together and making sure Sarah felt centered in the interaction. This inclusion transformed a potential threat into a shared experience, effectively neutralizing the underlying insecurity. The sixth strategy involves what relationship psychologists call appreciative reinforcement, consistently expressing specific appreciation in areas that might be triggering insecurity. When you sense hidden jealousy, pay attention to the potential source of comparison and find authentic ways to express appreciation for how your partner shines in related areas. Tyler from Chicago noticed his girlfriend Hannah displaying subtle signs of jealousy when he mentioned a highly accomplished female colleague. Rather than ignoring these signals, Tyler made a point of expressing genuine appreciation for Hannah's intelligence and insights over the next few days, specifically in areas related to her own work and achievements. This targeted reinforcement addressed the underlying comparison trigger without explicitly connecting it to jealousy. The crucial aspect of appreciative reinforcement is specificity and authenticity. Generic compliments like "you are amazing" have little impact on insecurity. Detailed appreciation that highlights her unique value. I was thinking about that insight you shared about the Richardson Project. It really shows how you see connections others miss. Provides meaningful reassurance because it shows you truly see and value her unique qualities. The seventh strategy involves consistent private reinforcement of connection. Public displays of affection matter, but private, consistent indicators of your commitment and attraction often have a more profound impact on underlying insecurity. These private moments of connection signal that your affection is an performative. It's a genuine expression of your feelings regardless of who's watching. Anthony from Seattle implemented this approach when he sensed his girlfriend Rachel experiencing hidden jealousy after a social event where he interacted with several female friends. Rather than directly addressing potential jealousy, Anthony made a point of creating several moments of deep connection in the following days, sending thoughtful text messages during the workday, initiating meaningful conversations about their future, and expressing physical affection in private moments. The eighth strategy is creating shared exclusive experiences. When you sense hidden jealousy, initiate experiences that belong uniquely to your relationship. These exclusive connections create psychological territory that reinforces your bond and differentiates your connection from other relationships in your life. Eric from Nashville used this approach when he noticed his girlfriend Jessica showing subtle signs of jealousy about a female friend from his past. Rather than directly addressing her concerns, Eric suggested they start a weekly tradition of Sunday morning hikes, followed by brunch at their favorite local spot. This shared ritual created an exclusive experience that belonged only to them, reinforcing their unique connection without explicitly addressing jealousy. The ninth and perhaps most powerful strategy is continuous growth in emotional intelligence. The more accurately you can read and respond to emotional undercurrents, the more effectively you can address hidden jealousy before it intensifies. This skill develops through conscious attention to patterns, thoughtful reflection on interactions, and genuine curiosity about your partner's emotional experience. Remember that female jealousy, whether openly expressed or carefully concealed, isn't inherently negative. At its core, jealousy reflects investment in the relationship and fear of losing something valued. By developing the ability to recognize and appropriately respond to hidden jealousy, you transform potential relationship friction into opportunities for deeper connection. The most important insight about hidden female jealousy is that your response either amplifies or diminishes its intensity. When you react with defensiveness, accusation, or dismissal, you reinforce the insecurity driving the jealousy. When you respond with emotional intelligence, reassurance, and consistent reinforcement of her value, you address the root cause rather than the symptom. The ultimate goal isn't to eliminate jealousy entirely. That's unrealistic in deeply invested relationships. Rather, the objective is creating a relationship dynamic where both partners feel secure enough to acknowledge vulnerable emotions, including jealousy, without fear of judgment or rejection. This emotional transparency, paradoxically, reduces the need for hiding jealousy because the relationship becomes a safe space for all emotions, even the uncomfortable ones. If you have found these insights valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on understanding female psychology in relationships. Leave a comment sharing which signs of hidden jealousy you've noticed in your own experiences. Your feedback helps shape future videos on this channel. Until next time, remember that understanding her unspoken emotional world isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's about creating the deep connection that every meaningful relationship deserves.